Louis here from Status Coup. We're just outside of a Beto O'Rourke town hall here in Austin, Texas. We're out here chatting with potential voters ahead of the event to see what they think about Beto and the state of politics right now. I'm sure you're aware of this, obviously, but Democrats have control of the House. They narrowly have control of the Senate. They don't have the 60 votes, but they do have 50 with Vice President Harris as a tiebreaker. Is this something that you think President Biden needs to be using the bully pulpit to pressure Sinema and Manchin in particular to actually go through and get rid of the filibuster while they have control over these three branches of government to, number one, pass some new gun legislation, and number two, codify Roe versus Wade, which is what they've, half of these people have been fundraising and pushing, vote in November and we'll do these things. We can all vote as much as we want in November, and we're not going to have 60 votes in the Senate to do it. So should President Biden use the bully pulpit to pressure Sinema and Manchin into getting rid of the filibuster for this?
Absolutely. I don't know what else he can do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's his position. He's got to use it to the best of his ability, so there are no regrets all around.
Mm-hmm.
If he's going in there and has his boxing gloves on for something he really believes in and that the majority of the country believes in, then it's his moral obligation to do it, and so he will. Whether or not he'll be successful is going to be
I hope he does it, because up till this point, he'll talk broadly about it, but I think he needs to get tougher on Manchin and Sinema in particular to be able to actually go through and do this.
I agree. I don't know how you do. Who is Manchin representing?
Right.
I want to know who his people are that he is representing to the point of being, I mean, I get party loyalty and all that, but what are his people telling him to do?
And especially with how we're set up right now, the only way to really do anything would be getting rid of the filibuster. Personally, I don't see Biden putting enough pressure on Manchin or Sinema to do it. Are some of these issues on gun control? We also heard Beto talking about abortion. Are these issues that you would support, President Biden putting more pressure on some of these legislatures? And do you think any of that is going to happen, or is he going to kind of just continue to talk about it and see what happens?
I hope he would. I think we could use a lot more pressure, especially on the issue of abortion. 60% of the country supports at least some access to abortion, so I don't see why we can't get women health care, especially when so many people support at least some amount of access to women's health care. So I think Biden could be doing more to put pressure. We need pressure at all levels, like the local level in Texas, our city council on Beto, up to Biden, because at every level we need to convince our neighbors to care about women's health as well.
Yeah, it's about organizing the party. The Democratic Party needs to really just figure out how to form that front line and move forward. You can't move forward until you've actually figured out where you are and how to do it. I mean, there's lots of ways to do it. Yeah, the filibuster might be not possible right now, but I think there's plenty of other things we could do. There's lots of room to improve for voting rights in Texas, lots of other states. We could do all kinds of things like change the electoral college a little bit. We could add some justices. We could, actually have more balanced distribution of federal judges. There's lots of things we can do. Pressure at all of them.
So right now, at the federal level, Democrats do have control of the House and narrowly the Senate with Vice President Harris as the tiebreaker vote. Do you think that President Biden should be putting pressure on Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema to get rid of the filibuster? And if you were to do that, you could pass some, even if it was incremental or something, pass some federal changes to gun law, or do what they've been fundraising on for the November elections and do something about Roe versus Wade. It drives me nuts to hear get fundraising emails for, vote for us in November and we'll codify Roe versus Wade into law. You're not going to have 60 votes in the Senate in November. It's not going to happen. Do you think that Biden needs to be putting pressure there to get rid of the filibuster to make some of these things law?
Yes, for the same reasons you just said. I mean, it really will speed things up and we can really get things into action. I agree.
Yeah, and people argue that if we get rid of the filibuster now and the Republicans were to take control back, that would still be there. But think about all the legislation you can pass now in this very crucial time where we do have the House and we would have the Senate should the filibuster be passed away. But the filibuster has truly just been there for a hot minute already, and it just really does not make sense. And it was made for the laws of the 1800s, and it doesn't make sense because America is so much more demographically diverse. It doesn't make sense to keep a law when a majority of Americans supported legislation that is just sitting on those desks.
Thanks for watching, and make sure to tune in to Status Coup's daily live stream Monday through Thursday at 5 o'clock Eastern Time and Fridays at 4 o'clock Eastern Time.